going to get over to Rahul Bajoria, regional economist at Barclays Capital there in Singapore. Rahul, thanks for joining us. Well, what does the Bank of Thailand do? Does it continue, as we've been saying, raising rates here?
Well, at least for today's meeting, we do think that they are going to hike rates by around 25 basis points. Looking at the inflation, that's their key concern at this moment. I mean, commodity prices remain elevated. We are seeing decent demand also in the economy. Core prices, which is something that the central bank is targeting in its inflation target, has risen close to the top of the band. So hiking the policy rate today is going to be the right decision.
Okay, well, they've got to be worried about the fiscal position of the country if Yingluck Shinawatra is actually confirmed there as Prime Minister, and how they will get into debt as a consequence of her election pledges.
Well, that is something we think that the central bank will be monitoring very carefully in the coming months. As it was mentioned earlier, the government has not yet been formed. Hence, important decisions like hiking the minimum wages, potentially cutting fuel prices are not going to be there on the cards, at least for the next 1 or 2 months. However, if this comes into effect, the chances of monetary policy tightening up significantly to compensate, to avoid risks of imbalances goes up quite significantly.
Well, if we do get an interest rate hike, I mean, you could say that they're tightening, but we could really argue that this is actually still fairly loose monetary policy when you look at it historically, and this is actually more of a process of normalization.
Absolutely. I mean, right now we think that the central bank might signal today that they are close to neutral rates at this point. Anything beyond today, if the central bank keeps on hiking rates in the second half of the year, that is going to be a signal that they are moving to a tightening bias rather than just keeping policy accommodative.
Well, the move by the Thai baht, can we expect a move higher by the Thai baht if we do get an interest rate hike a bit later on? Is it already in the price?
Well, the Thai baht has been one of the underperformers this year. That's largely been on the back of weak flows on the equity side. Given the election results, we have seen a decent move in the baht of late in the last couple of weeks. Going ahead, we think there might be some more juice in the Thai baht to move higher against the US dollar, but we don't think there's going to be a scenario where there's going to be outperformance from the baht. We think it's pretty much going to do what the other currencies in the region are going to do.
But it is playing catch-up to some extent, isn't it, Rahul?
It is playing catch-up, but from the perspective that it was the big outperformer, it was the currency which had appreciated the most last year. So from a more medium-term perspective, from say a 2-year perspective, we are still at pretty strong levels currently.
Right, Rahul, very quickly here, what is your trade of the day, or trade of the week even?
Well, our trade of the day right now is that if the central bank sounds hawkish, we should be looking to pay front-end rates. However, the long-end part of the curve is likely to be supported by ongoing inflows into the bond market and also in the equity markets. That should mean the curve should flatten. On the IRS side, we should see the currency appreciate a bit more from here on, but there's not much juice left, as I said earlier.
Rahul, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Rahul Bajoria there joining us from Singapore.